Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So let's talk about Aptos or the APT token. It's been a while since I have covered this token, so let's just look at it, what is happening with APT and where it may be headed, because clearly it just lost its greatest support that was somewhere around like $3, as you can see here, and we have a big meltdown. As you can see, the token did actually lose the support and it went as low as $2.4, so that is not a good look. Now before we take a look at its price, let's look at what is happening with Aptos overall. We'll just go to the DeFi Llama and we'll look at their fundamentals. So as of now, the interesting thing about the Aptos is that the stablecoin market cap is going parabolic, so that is, I think, a big like W for the Aptos, because if the stablecoin market cap grows, that means there is going to be like a pretty good growth in their ecosystem as well as in their RWA. Now if you just compare Aptos with the SUI, SUI is the biggest rival of the Aptos. Now the stablecoin market cap on the SUI is like down from 1.18 billion to as low as like 617, whereas on the Aptos it is up from 1.1 billion to as high as like 1.3 billion. So that is a massive development, I would say, around the Aptos, and that is the only factor that is, I think, bigger like on the Aptos. Now in terms of TVL, of course Aptos is struggling, like it is at 537 million, whereas SUI is also struggling. It is down from like 2.57 billion, as you can see here. Now another interesting thing is to look at is going to be the DEX volume. The DEX volume on SUI is really high, around it is like averaging above 500 mil, and on the Aptos it is averaging like around 100 mil, as you can see. So that is where the SUI like takes a lead from the Aptos. Now in terms of like perps volume, so let's just try to compare that as well. So this is how it looks like. So in terms of the perps volume, it is like really low on like Aptos, that's not good, and on SUI it is taking off, so that is another factor that does impacts like trading happening on on like ecosystem of like SUI or even the Aptos. So again, the SUI is taking off, so that means this is really good for the SUI, and this is not a good look for the Aptos, I would say, because as of now the only thing that is like doing extremely well is perps trading on the DEXs, and if it was in the Aptos ecosystem, it would have been like really good for the Aptos, but as of now we don't have that, so that is a bit of a bummer. Now last but not least, the growth of RWS on the Aptos is like really high. So in the last 30 days, like Aptos has seen over 68% like growth in RWA, real world assets, and that is extremely good for the Aptos, I think. So these were the fundamentals that I want to talk about. Now let's move to its price. So before we go like take a look at its price, let's just look at its supply. So the reason Aptos is struggling this much is because of its supply increase. So if you look here, back when the price was at 17 or 1600 or $16, the Aptos market cap was at 2.8 billion, and after that it went as high as like 6.4 back in March of 2024. And if you look at the price in the March, the token actually ended up hitting like $17, like exactly the same back in 2023. So what happened here was like clearly the supply or the circulating supply growth for the Aptos, and because of that, although the demand for the Aptos did go up, but the price did not actually hit a new all-time high. So that is the reason. Again, the exact same reason, back in December 2024 the price ended up hitting $14.7, as you can see, and after that the market cap did hit a new all-time high of 7.8 billion, which is a lot compared to like March market cap of 2024, which was around like 6 billion, I think 7 billion, and like in December it actually ended up peaking somewhere around 8 billion, so that is massive. again the price did not even go near that like price of March, as you can see here. So that happened because of the supply growth. And again, APT is inflationary, so that is a bit of a problem with APT as well. And all of that, I think all of that sell pressure did come from these investors that were getting their tokens. As you can see, a pretty aggressive like a token unlocks happening here, so there was a bit of a bummer. But now these like monthly unlocks will finally like end like by 2026, I believe, or somewhere around July of 2026. So again, after that the token should not have that much sell pressure, or this coin should not have that much sell pressure. But as of now we have massive selling happening, and because of that APT is struggling. So again, whenever the market does go up, the APT usually like goes as high as 3.8 or even as high as 4 billion. So that seems to be the standard that APT like as of now is aiming for, or basically APT is like whenever the market does go up, it usually goes as high as 4 billion, and after that if like we have a real alt season, it usually ends up hitting like 6 billion or even 7 billion. And looking at this trend, there is a possibility that if we ever get a massive alt season, it could actually end up hitting it could actually end up going as high as like 8.5 billion or even 9 billion. That is what it seems like. But again, in terms of market cap, we do have a really good support at 1.2 billion, and that means APT can still go even lower, because although its price did hit a really good demand zone, but due to the supply increase, this support, I don't think it even matters that much. And because of that, like looking at its market cap, there is a possibility that it can go below $1. And if that happens, it can go below $2, and if that happens, it may eventually find its support somewhere around like 1.5 or even like $1.6. And even if you look here, it is like in a downtrend, and somehow, let's say if APT announce something big, or if something big happens for the APT, let's say ETF or something like that, we could see a really good like move from the APT. But as of now, I think it will most likely continue to reject on this trend line. So something like this maybe. So we could see a new low of 2.2, or even like if we just try to even if we just try to get this low, so 24%. So APT can go as low as like 1.8 or even 1.75 is the entry that we are looking at as of now. So again, I think if you plan to get into APT, you can enter somewhere around 1.9 to 1.8 or even 1.7. But overall, I think it is going to struggle unless we get a massive news. And if market recovers, APT will most likely like bounce back, and it will most likely go back to their $5 point, I think, because if you look at the RWA growth, that is massive. And if APT's like TVL continues to go up, I think that could help it. But as of now, it's not looking good in terms of like APT's market cap, and it can still shed more of it. And again, there are some token unlocks happening here as well, so that is a bit concerning as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will be back with more. Thank you.